Main reason for getting a battery operated saw: the go button. No having to configure it first. Put the choke on, make sure it's on, give it a pump of some fuel, then once it's fired, and then it stalls. The go button. This would be the max really that you would want to cut with this saw. It's very quiet. I'm comfortable not wearing ear protection while operating this saw. I guess if I was operating it all day I might consider it, but it's very quiet, and as you can hear, once you let go of the go button, so what else can I say? It will munch through bigger pieces of timber, though it'll take a while and you'll have to do several cuts. It's definitely not its intended purpose. Quite a few reviews have been commenting on the lack of metal dogs, just having these plastic ones here. I'm actually finding that that's okay. This is a small saw, you don't want to overpower it. I started with a full battery, a fully charged battery, and I certainly haven't been hanging around. I've pushed it to the limit with some of these oversized logs. I've just chopped up quite a lot of the windfall from Storm Éowyn, one of Ireland's most severe storms. So I've probably done about 50-60 cuts, ranging from 30 centimetres to what I would say this saw is most suited to, i.e. around about 15-20 centimetres. And eucalyptus is a hardwood, and it's very hard. So it's done really well on one battery to chop this much up. I'll show you me chopping the rest of this up, and then we'll have a chat about the specs, etc. The go button. battery is still showing 3 bars. Remarkable. It's a brand new battery. It was fully charged, even though that's a fair amount of work it's just done. I have a lot of Dewalt tools. I've been using Dewalt tools for a very long time. I used to run a handyman business, so from the year 2000 onwards, I'd say I've been using Dewalt combi drill drivers and trim saws. The previous versions of Dewalt weren't brushless, even though they lasted from the year 2000 to 2015, 15 years, until I moved to Ireland, and Ireland can be a tad damp, and non-brushless motors don't tend to deal too well with damp conditions. These brushless ones, some of these are now coming up for 10 years old, and they've been absolutely fine. So when it came to buying a chainsaw, a battery operated chainsaw, then it had to be brushless. I think this does say on it somewhere. Yeah, there you go, brushless. So one thing that I noted in several other reviews was that they said these things leaked oil. And yes, oil does come out the bottom of this one, as you can see. However, less oil comes out of this one than comes out of the combustion engine chainsaw that I've been using up until now. This one really does soak everything around it. In fairness to this chainsaw, it still works. I got it going there, but it can be a bit of a mission to start, and when you stop to do something, then it continues to burble on. So very noisy. And if you follow my channel, you'll be aware that I dislike the toxic, harmful fumes from burning fossil fuels immensely. So I certainly wouldn't start the internal combustion engine petrol chainsaw in the garage, in the workshop. Whereas this one, no issues with doing that at all. Anyway, so I've got lots of Dewalt tools, so I've got lots of batteries. I went through realistically one battery, chopping up all that firewood and brash out there. The batteries charge in around 50-60 minutes. So if you had 3 batteries, you could keep going all day. As I say, electric motors in general are very reliable, and Dewalt ones over the years I have had absolutely no issues whatsoever with them. This little chainsaw, out of the box, this was it. The battery was even fitted into the slot, so it came ready to go. The only thing that you needed to do was fill the oil tank, the bar oil tank, and I just used vegetable oil. Again, a vegetable oil isn't a fossil fuel, it's environmentally friendly. All the oil that comes off this bar is instantly biodegradable or food for the soil. Other people that I know and respect who have been using chainsaws for years just use vegetable oil. It's cheap and it works. So there we go, and as per usual, I normally overfill these. That's an issue if it's not vegetable oil. it's not an issue if it is vegetable oil, because any spillage is going to be non-toxic. I'll take a little bit out of there before I put the plug in, but you catch the drift on that one. Vegetable oil's absolutely fine. I've been using this chainsaw for the past 3 hours and no issues with lubrication of the chain. And no issues generally. So I'm just going to decant some of that and we'll chat a little bit more about this particular chainsaw. There's a window here so you can see how full the bar oil tank is. And there's not actually a lot to it. I haven't really taken it apart. If the brake is on, then it won't start. It does take a second or so to get up to speed. That's not going to be an issue. When you're chopping up firewood in between cuts or before the first cut, you're not going to be instantly there. So I don't see that startup time is an issue. Certainly not for this one. Its chain is adjusted. You slacken off this and then you wind up this or unwind it, depending. So I've actually had a look inside here. Wonder if this comes off or not. Presume it must do, does it? Off, locked. Okay, quite a few turns to unwind it. That's quite surprising. I've done quite a lot of cutting and there's very little in the way of clogging there at all. So if you wanted to take the chain and bar off, then just that wee adjuster there. Another beauty of just using vegetable oil is when it comes to cleaning things out, you don't have to worry about getting toxic chemicals on your skin. So that's about it really. I don't see that there's very much to say. It's got a go button. It works. What more do you want to know? It'll probably be about where it was to start with. Okay, so that's it. It's got a really nice feel to it. I really like the brake. The brake feels really good. Not that it's quite as important with a battery operated chainsaw because it's not going to be running all the time. But if you're in a situation where you might trip or fall, then yeah, definitely it's nice to have the brake when it's sitting on the ground. But like I say, there's not much to it. It works.